What? My neck hurts. I feel like I must have gotten whiplash or something because OnlyFans just reversed its decision to disallow explicit content on its app. So I just read this on Twitter, and the bombshell that OnlyFans dropped this morning is, as they said, thank you to everyone for making your voices heard. We have secured assurances necessary to support our diverse creator community and have suspended the planned October 1 policy change. OnlyFans stands for inclusion, and we will continue to provide a home for all creators. So it looks like OnlyFans did a 180, and now you will be allowed to publish explicit content on the website again. So if you were worried about losing your business or taking your business elsewhere, though I argue you should still do that, you should diversify if you're a sex worker, you don't have to anymore. And this is laughing essentially a little bit in the face of everybody who was dunking on sex workers, saying that they would have to go back to the streets, get a job at McDonald's, not have their dirty clothing in the frame. Sorry, if I look puffy, I literally look puffy because like I woke up early. Somebody woke me up with a snap far too early, but I'm glad they did because now I can cover this. Hit the like button if you're here. But yeah, so for the people that were dunking on OnlyFans creators, you just got served. You know, you served the sex workers, they're serving it back to you because now you'll be allowed to upload porn and explicit content on OnlyFans again. And I thought it was really funny when I was reading some of the comments from my other video when I talked about the ban, and people were like, yeah, now they'll have to go back to being prostitutes. No, most sex workers who do photos and videos are just doing photos and videos. There's no contact with strangers other than if, say, you're collaborating with someone in a video. When you film pornography or sex acts, it's literally you alone and on whatever set, you know, taking photos and videos of yourself in whatever nude or sexualized capacity. So what do you guys think about this? I know there's 7 people here. I clearly am half asleep with a semi-puffy face. What do I think about this? This just proves to me that as a creator, you only have limited power in terms of what happens to the platforms where you house your content. Any website you build that is somebody on somebody else's domain can be taken away from you at any time. You can get banned, you can get sanctioned. So the best option for any creator, in my opinion, is to diversify, meaning don't put all your eggs in the OnlyFans anus basket. Make sure you're on other websites, as I had listed before. You know, there's a ton of other options like AVN Stars. I believe Pornhub might have their own service. A lot of these services, unfortunately, take a slightly higher cut than OnlyFans, but you should still just create a presence everywhere because you never know when one site's gonna go down, and you might get different audiences on other platforms. Sorry, I think there was like OnlyFans alternatives just for fans, I think is the name of the other one. So Matchable had come up with an article. So there's Fan Centro, Many Vids, My Girl Fund, Avian Stars, Just for Fans, Loyal Fans. There's so many alternatives now. And if anything, this just gave a boost to these other platforms, this brief period where OnlyFans announced that it would no longer be supporting explicit content. Yeah, so Fansly, that's another one. So if you are an adult content creator, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Please diversify. Please also have clean content on clean channels so that you can't be completely yeeted from the internet. And if you want to be slightly edgier, I believe Rumble and BitChute allows for edgier content. So you might want to consider investing your energies there. Hi, Bruno. Good morning. So I'm just covering this. I don't know how long I'm going to stay live. Like I had some people filter through and then disappear, but OnlyFans announced this morning that they're reversing their decision in terms of banning adult content. That doesn't change what I want to do, because I've said this before, but I was never doing sex acts in my work. I was only doing photography, but I've already deleted tons of photos, and I have the intention of like deleting far more, because it wasn't fully what I wanted to do anyways. It was sort of an experiment for me, and I got what, I met with some of my objectives financially, I suppose, and now I'm sort of withdrawing, and I thought that the ban was going to be permanent, so I was going to be personally okay with just moving on and just focusing my energies back on Patreon. But I wonder how many sex workers will just stick with OnlyFans. How many will come back? I mean, they didn't ban or announce that they might be banning explicit content for very long. It was only a matter of what? Has it only been a week? Has it just been a little bit over a week? So it's not very long. I don't like it when I look puffy in the morning. This is what I look like when I just wake up. I woke up like this to cover this story. Any other feedback before I let you go? I'll read some of the reactions on Twitter to this. So OnlyFans says an official communication to creators will be emailed shortly. So they notified Twitter before creators. And Prince says, suspended, not canceled. Sex workers proceed as planned. We should have multiple streams of income, which is what I just said. And they've been trying to onboard celebrities and other people to backfill us. And somebody's realized logistically it's a nightmare and they'll lose money. So that's why they changed their course of action. Who knows? Maybe they found a payment processor that was willing to work with them. I mean, they were standing to lose hundreds of millions, if not $1 billion. And they saw how quickly people were jumping ship. So I think they found a solution pretty fast, or they argued their case with their payment processors and managed to convince them. But I think it's probably likelier they found some other alternate means of processing payments. So Jace, but wait, if they can still accept MasterCard, but I don't know. I don't know all the workarounds with it. Definitely there are payment processors, though, that accept MasterCard, even for sites like Pornhub. So they did something. So Jason says, so translation, you thought your business model could survive by demonizing sex workers. So instead you took a PR hit and realized you had to back out. I don't know if they were demonizing sex workers. I think they just caved to whatever pressure behind the scenes that we don't know about. I read a huge article about the fact that there was like a special interest group that went to OnlyFans with evidence that it had inappropriate content on its platform, and then took that evidence to like MasterCard and Visa. And that's why this all happened, outside of OnlyFans wanting to get more investment from private investors. And those investors wanting a guarantee that there was no risk inherent in the website. So OnlyFans making sort of like a decision to go cleaner and go more mainstream. I think it was like a little bit of column A and column B. So Hex says, I call for a reduce in fees for all of us who's been affected by this. I've lost over 150 subscribers overnight, but I'm still paying you the full 20% of my earnings. And then and Hex says, that's just last night. Overall, I lost about 500 subscribers. This is my only source of income, and your indecisiveness and poor communication made models and subscribers scramble and caused chaos. Give us a temporary fee reduction to help us if you're actually sorry. Maybe that's a good point. Oh, I did not want to see that penis. There's a picture of a penis. It is a, what is she doing to that penis? I don't like looking at penises this early in the morning. Or in general, that is not some prime penis. Sorry, I shouldn't body shame this guy. Not my thing. Their thing, not my thing. So let's just see if you guys are saying anything. It's fine, Dr. Coconut. I made the best of the situation. I'm now live because OnlyFans reversed its decision, and it will be allowing all content on its platform because they've said that they want to remain inclusive. So I will be going back to sleep very shortly. Look at me, I look tired. I feel like I look puffy. We're not talking about me, my vanity right now. So back to this. And then people are like, haha, hard work. OnlyFans isn't hard work. That is false. I've taken like 15,000 photos of myself. Trust me, tum-tum, OnlyFans is fucking hard. No pun intended. It's very hard to film yourself and to make that product that's saleable to others. And I was in the top 1%, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And only once I backed off did my profits decrease. So no, I'm a creator who also happens to have a nude product. That's how I see myself. And that's very clear from the diversity of content that you can see me create daily on Instagram, Snapchat, here, YouTube, Patreon. I'm not a one-trick pony, and nor are most of these adult content creators. It's very obnoxious. And it's just, I think it's low-key a lot of broke-ass people who are jealous that if you manage it correctly, you stand to make a ton of money fairly quickly off of OnlyFans. And people will always throw out the morality argument and the, OnlyFans creators are sacrificing their dignity and their purity. Well, what the fuck is purity? Who's a fuck? As long as you're treating the people who are closest to you, right? Like purity is just, that's very subjective. And dignity, again, that's up to the person to decide whether or not being sexually open is shameful or not. I mean, it just sounds like a whole lot of slut shaming. And most of these people that are dunking on adult content creators, they fucking consume porn. So they consider the source, right? If anything, a lot of adult content creators are bolder. And I think a lot of them are probably more pro-social, meaning we are more friendly. We are friendlier. You have to be friendly to a certain degree to be willing to show off your body sexually. So, although, like I said, to be clear, I do not do sex acts in my work. I model. So I've nude modeled, but that's the limit for me. And at that, there was a limit to what I would show. I'm not a typical adult content creator. I don't really consider myself a sex worker. I consider myself a model because I don't do sex acts. So, but I have the back of sex workers because I understand their hustle. And honestly, it cannot be easy to force yourself to perform, right? Even with toys or whatnot, you're putting on a show. You're not always doing, it's not always sexually, it's usually not, in fact, sexually gratifying, I would think, when a lot of these performers create the explicit content. It's just not. It's a show. You're acting. And that's hard. That's depleting. And outside of all the other, all the other bullshit you have to put up with when you're an adult content creator, psychologically, it's hard. And it's very demanding. And you should charge the maximum amount of money that you can, because you are assuming so much more personal responsibility than you think. Like, don't underpay sex workers is my advice to audiences as well. Don't think that, $10 is expensive. No, it's not. Would you drop your trousers for $10 in public? No? Okay, well then maybe the price should be more than $10. So, okay, so you're going back to calling back to us. You're going back to calling us creators. You can call us sex workers, or is this your subtle way of going back to ignoring us? Somebody just posted a boner alert. That's funny. Oh, my friend. So you're suspending this for good or knowingly delaying the date? Is there a known date now or will be sprung upon creators again at any moment without warning, says Phoenix. That is true, Phoenix. Because OnlyFans could pull this shit again. They're payment processors. Who knows who they are? They could potentially pull this shit again. Even Pornhub stepped up and gave creators bonuses for months despite entirely losing their credit card processing. You can afford to give real practical help to the community that builds you. Step up, OnlyFans. That's what Alice Scary said. Queen of Avocado said, raise your hand if you've ever been personally victimized by OnlyFans. It's a pretty stressful platform to earn a living on. Like, you can't efficiently delete content. It could be a lot better, OnlyFans. And like, Patreon is also lacking in features, but at least you can delete content, not that efficiently, but more efficiently than OnlyFans. Though Patreon too is a bit of a shit show. They need to fix their shit. Like, they need to add tipping options. They need to add bulk editing of posts. There's stuff you have to do manually that you shouldn't have to do. But at least on Patreon, you have an email list of your followers. On OnlyFans, you don't have that. It's gross. I find it gross when girls literally this bitch is showing her anus. But I mean, that's up to her. Like, if it gets her like lots of followers, like, who am I to judge her spreading her cheeks and showing her anus on Twitter? I've never really marketed myself explicitly. All I'm seeing is like her butt is, she must have a BBL because I've never seen, how do you have like a natural butt that's like two giant circles? Gross. It looks smelly. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like looking at porn. I believe it or not, I'm not really a big consumer of it. So seeing a girl spread her cheeks doesn't do it for me. But you do you, boo-boo. I shouldn't judge. But that's a lot for me to consume when I'm trying to read out comments. That's true, Big Bub, but that's not the majority. That is the distinct minority. So Dr. Coconut, for me, it's at least $300 to drop my pants in public. Exactly. But you have multiple models of driving, fans to your business. It could be the cheap, high volume, or you could create a pretty premium product. I am on the side of, I'd rather create a premium product and have premium brand associations than create, a very inexpensive product. But the girls that make their OnlyFans inexpensive, by the way, a lot of them are still charging an arm and a leg in the DMs for content, like $50, $60 for privates. No pun intended, like private messages. So final comment, and then I'll end this. Greg says, how can anyone trust you now, fans or creators? If you flip-flop on this, who's to say in another week you won't be right back to your policy change banning explicit content, or in a year from now? This is big, but baby, I've changed for real this time, energy. And Alessandra says, notice how they're saying suspended, though, not canceled. The policy changes are still happening, only later than planned. So maybe that's the truth. Jenny says, Alessandra said that, but then Jenny says, suspended is basically the policy change is still happening. It's just being pushed back. And Veronica says they do like to play with words. They just want to make as much money as possible before booting sex workers, is what I'm gathering. And other people said, Miss Brooklyn Blue, suspended meeting is going to happen again. No thanks. So anyhow, sound off in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. You can now post explicit content on OnlyFans again. It will not expire on October the 1st. I think if you're a sex worker, as I had said before, please diversify. Put your content on multiple platforms. Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Have multiple fan pages, have multiple Instagrams, have multiple YouTubes, have a side of you that is clean and safe for work and abides by all the platform, conservative, ridiculous guidelines, and have one that's a little bit edgier, and keep going. Keep on trucking. Sex workers, we're going to keep trucking anyways, and you'll never stop sex work unless we get a colony on Mars where everyone has like an individual police officer assigned to them 24/7 that monitors and controls their behavior. And be thankful for that, because you probably like and use porn too. So see you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm on Patreon. OnlyFans, you're unreliable. Goodbye.